Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing The Invisible Man, which just got released over the weekend and is the first film from Universal Studios after their failed Dark Universe franchise didn't really lift off with the dreadful Mummy reboot. The less said about that the better, but The Invisible Man is a really cool standalone film from Universal Studios, from the same guys that produced Get Out, Blumhouse Productions. So when I heard that these guys were going to be producing the Invisible Man standalone film, I knew that it was going to be a really cool film. I wasn't expecting it to be as gripping as it was, and the trailer did kind of reveal a bit too much. But you know, that said, let's just get on with the review for The Invisible Man. I do want to say that this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen The Invisible Man, definitely check it out and then come back to this movie review. Or if you're just looking for the film to be spoiled, then definitely stick around as we're going to be talking about all things The Invisible Man. Now, the storyline for The Invisible Man really is what sets it apart from any other film, as fundamentally, you know, when you take away all of the invisibility cloak, all of the supernatural, all of the dark, evil kind of superhero versus supervillain kind of aspects of this film, fundamentally what it is all about an abusive situation which someone wants to escape. You know, this person is feeling helpless, feeling totally isolated, feeling like they're not themselves at all, and they want to kind of escape this abusive situation and kind of get their life back. So from that point of view, it's super relatable, and the character played by Elisabeth Moss is just done so brilliantly. The character of Cecilia is trapped in an abusive situation with her ex-boyfriend, who is totally controlling her and kind of destroying her identity, and she wants to kind of pluck up the courage to escape, which one day she does, which is a brilliant start to the film, really gripping, in the same way that kind of Drew Barrymore's death at the start of Scream was incredibly gripping way to start the movie. They've done The Invisible Man in a similar situation where she's kind of escaping this ex-boyfriend. He almost catches up with her and he's almost kind of brings her back, but she's able to escape and try and get back to a bit of normality, kind of bringing her confidence up slowly but surely, and then kind of having a normal life. And just when things are starting to look good for Cecilia's character, the Invisible Man kind of enters her life and kind of destroys it and makes it even worse than it was before, because now she's being accused of murder, she is in an insane asylum, and she is just being haunted by this character that she can't even see. So it's just a very dark place for this character. But that's the thing that I love about this film, because just when things are looking incredibly bleak for this character, and now she's even more destroyed than she was before, because her last bits of her identity are now kind of being taken away from her, and now she's kind of losing all aspects of her kind of life, she's able to completely turn her situation around. And the thing that I really love about this character is then she's able to outsmart the Invisible Man, because now she is kind of, to an extent, becoming the predator and he's becoming the prey, and she's able to just completely turn the tables around and come out of this situation a much stronger person. So I just feel like the conclusion of this film, the storyline arc of the character of Cecilia, is just really satisfying. And then when you add on top of all of that kind of, you know, underlying abusive escape storyline, you have the great supernatural aspects of this invisibility character and how can you defeat someone that you can't see. So overall, The Invisible Man is excellent. Elisabeth Moss totally kills it as the character of Cecilia in this film. She's pretty much in every single scene of the movie, in a very similar way to the way that Joaquin Phoenix was in every single scene of The Joker. By the way, you can see that video review in the description box below. But coming back to The Invisible Man, because of the fact that she's in pretty much every single scene, you really get to feel and connect with this character, and thank goodness the portrayal is done so well by Elisabeth Moss, because if it wasn't, this would not be even half as good as a film as it is, because you really do get to kind of feel all of the emotions that this character is feeling and going through, the jeopardy of all of the situations that she's kind of finding herself in, and just kind of feeling trapped and isolated and kind of feeling like, you know, nothing's going to kind of go well for her, and then kind of when she turns the tables around, all of those aspects, you're totally with this character because of the fact that she just, A, does such a good portrayal of the character, and B, because you're kind of seeing every single situation coming to life because she's pretty much in every single scene. So that's where the film is really good from a characters and acting point of view. However, what I would say is that the supporting cast aren't really at the same caliber as Elisabeth Moss and her character of Cecilia. You know, you have Elisabeth Moss and Cecilia's character's sister, you have her abusive ex-partner, his brother, her friend, his daughter. a cool like supporting cast, but because of the fact that they're not at the same level and at the same caliber, it does kind of take away from the film because the acting is just a bit jarring and a bit kind of at different levels. You know, the ex-boyfriend, for example, in the final scene of the film does a really cool job in terms of kind of playing off against this character and kind of seeing, was this person really the Invisible Man? Did he try to control her in the same way that she kind of felt he was? All of those kind of aspects are nice, but I just feel like, you know, the supporting cast just didn't do as good of a job as Cecilia and Elisabeth Moss did in this film. As far as the visuals are concerned, this film has a relatively low budget, so don't expect anything super over the top or any crazy superpowers happening in this film. You know, that being said, there are really nice scenes in a mansion, and you know, the invisibility scenes where there is a character that you can't see and the things that this character does do look really, really cool. It's just not super over the top. So from a visuals department, this film looks good, but it's just relatively simple. As far as comparisons go, you know, if we were to compare it to the other similar Dark Universe film, which was The Mummy, this film hands down is a million times better than that film. That film was an absolute joke. It kind of destroyed all of the other great movie franchises based on The Mummy, so that was just an absolute carnage of a film. So, you know, by comparison to other Dark Universe-esque type films, this film is really, really cool. In terms of comparing it to other similar films such as Get Out or Us, I personally really preferred Get Out and Us over The Invisible Man. The Invisible Man is cool, but I just felt like Get Out and Us was just absolutely groundbreaking in what they were doing. Also, like I said before as well, from a character portrayal point of view, I guess you can also compare this film to The Joker. Again, I preferred Joker over Invisible Man just because I found that character super captivating. You know, this one was as well, but by comparison, I just felt like Joker was a little bit better than The Invisible Man. Again, that doesn't take away from the fact that this is a cool film, but by comparison, I feel like there are other films that are a lot better than The Invisible Man. Overall, I would highly recommend watching The Invisible Man if you haven't seen it yet already. It's got an incredibly groundbreaking storyline, incredibly captivating, held very strongly by a central lead character of Cecilia, played by Elisabeth Moss. That said, like I said before, the other supporting characters in this film are just not even half as good as Cecilia, and that does kind of take away from the film. And the other thing that I wanted to say that I haven't said yet is the fact that this film is really, really pacey, which is really cool. I do like a film that kind of just moves on ahead with the storyline, and that's really, really cool. I just felt like in some respects it kind of paced on in a way that certain scenes didn't really make sense. So that's one thing that I would say is a little bit annoying. And the other thing is that the scenes that I found really, really enjoyable were, you know, where the invisibility character is doing things that you can't really see and are really intense and kind of more from a thriller aspect similar to Scream. But those sort of scenes are really few and far between, and there's not enough of them. And I just feel like that was a bit of a shame, as they could have really kind of got the adrenaline going a bit more and kind of made it really, really intense with more of those kind of scenes. So for all of those reasons, I'm going to give The Invisible Man a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.